So here's the surprises. Here's the surprises, ladies.
Surprise!
The prize number one, if you're coming and doing the land with us, either the day of arrival or perhaps the next day in Zurich, we're going to find a pub, find a little spot, and I'll buy drinks. So it's basically all you can drink in 6 minutes. It's going to be a 6-minute cocktail party. I'm kidding.
I can drink a lot in 6 minutes.
Oh, geez. So we're just going to have a get-together. The first day of arrival, I don't know, we may be tired, so we'll have to, we will figure it out. But so drinks are on me. We'll have a little party, and I think, Sherry, so far it's working because I see a telephone. So I'm going to unmute you. I'm going to unmute you, Sherry, and I think it's going to work.
Go.
Yay!
Pam.
All right, I'm going to put your webcam on.
Put the webcam.
Yay!
Oh my gosh.
As Elise said, you gotta love it, you gotta hate it. There we go. Okay, so that's surprise.
Hi everybody.
So we've got coast to coast going on here. Almost, ladies and gentlemen,
coast to coast.
We're global. This is global. All right, gotta get down to business here. So we're gonna have a little cocktail party either the first day or the second day because we may all be zombies the first day. I don't really know. The next surprise is that when we board the Ama Christina, by the way, she hasn't even set sail yet. She is that new. I was just out there. I was actually doing some painting. I was painting, and I put some wallpaper up. I did some plumbing. I'm not a registered plumber, but it's, whatever. So the second surprise is, and this is for everybody, when we get on, if anybody has checked out the diagram of the ship, the layout, there's a specialty restaurant. There's a private restaurant. It's called the Chef's Table. It's all the way at the back, which is also called the
Stern.
Good girl. It's the Stern, and it's a private, very small restaurant that
It's
only
the Tuchus.
the Tuchus. Sherry, what does it hold? 20-something or so people?
About 28 people. 28. They can squeeze a few more in, but that's
Which is
general.
about how many we are.
Right. So here's the big news. The big news is that we are taking over the whole restaurant the first night on the ship. So we will own the chef's restaurant. So we will have our own chef, our own wait crew. Right, Sherry? It's
a beautiful experience.
The view is beautiful. They prepare the food right there for us too, right? You can see the chef make it.
Yep. It's in a glass. Well, you've seen it. He's in a glass room.
We're gonna have hamburgers and hot dogs and just like at Shea Stadium back in the day, Pete. I'm kidding. Listen to me, folks. Pull up a chair. Listen. This is going to be amazing food. Unbelievable. You may not be able to pronounce it, but you will be able to eat it. And, of course, it'll be a full menu. So that's the second surprise. The third surprise, which I'm going to announce, and I want Sherry to tell us a little bit about how it's going to work, and then we have a lot of questions to start answering, is that on one of our stops, what day is it? It's on, what day we're in Strasbourg on Monday, April 24th, my friends. Monday, April 24th. After the regular tour that they provide, we're all going to, because we're going to be close, right, Sherry? We're going to walk over to a really cool restaurant, and we're buying everybody lunch. We're going to have a really nice, authentic Strasbourgian lunch. But Sherry, tell us about it, because you were the one who recommended this spot, and right, it's going to fit the day perfect.
It will. I've been there twice. And there's a little bit of feedback, so bear with me if I pause when I'm talking. It's okay. You've got the big cathedral in the center of the square, and then there's a post office, and we're all going to. That's a meeting point. So when the walking tour is done, we're going to meet at the post office, and it's about a block and a half to a restaurant called La Gruber, and that's where we're going to have lunch. It's about this wide and about 3 stories tall. And it's been there, I think, from the 1500s. And that might even be too young for it. It might even be older. But it's a wonderful landmark restaurant in the middle of Strasbourg. But it's a lot of locals eat there too when they come into town. A lot of French people. No, it's nice. It's lovely.
Very exciting. And we have, just so everybody knows, we have, if anybody wants vegetarian or something different, they have a vegetarian option. Otherwise, we're going to have plates for everybody. Now, listen, everybody, if you think now that you don't want to do it, I won't be insulted. She will. No, we won't be insulted. Let me know, because it's like $7,000 per head, euro. I'm kidding. Just let me know if you think you're going to have other plans in Strasbourg. Otherwise, it'll be done, all set. Sherry's going to walk us over there, and
we'll have another party.
Yeah, and from what I understand, the food that we're going to be eating was prepared back in the late 1400s, and we hope they preserved it. It's going to be very interesting. It's very old.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. This is a bad. Well, wait till you get on the cruise, guys. If you think you'll love this sense of humor here, it only gets worse. So Pete wants to know if there's White Castle. Well, how funny, Pete. There's going to be
many castles.
A lot of White Castles, but we will not be eating White Castle.
Knishes, probably not.
I don't know.
What are we cheering? What are we cheering for, Elise? Cheering from New York.
Yeah. I don't know, but I think Knishes are a Brooklyn thing, to be honest with you. All right. So those are the surprises. I hope everybody's excited. And that's it. Goodbye. Have a good night. No. All right, Sherry, let's dig into those questions. I think one of the biggest questions, and we're going to get to all of them, everybody, was about, let's talk about clothing.
It's optional. It might be cold, but it is a clothing optional riverboat cruise.
I don't know where she gets a sense of humor all of a sudden.
Joni and I are going clothing optional. Everybody is ready.
Is this thing?
I gotta go.
All right, Sherry, give us some packing recommendations. Should we pack for enough for every single night? Should we do a wash? Is it dress up, dress down? I know that there's a lot to talk about. How much luggage do you think we should bring? So I'm going to turn it over to you for some answers, because you've done river cruising a lot. You travel the world without flying, everybody. I don't know if you guys know this. Sherry does not fly.
I don't fly.
Nope. The highest she gets is the top deck of a river cruise ship. No, I don't know that. But she does not fly. So go ahead. You're on.
Yeah, so I'm used to, hauling lots of luggage with me. But if you're flying over and you know the requirements and the restrictions, pack as light as you can. But for clothing, this is going to be the end of April, middle to the end of April. It can be chilly on the rivers. The wind comes barreling down from the north on most days, and we're going downriver, so we're heading north, and the wind's coming that way. Bring clothing that you can layer. One thing that I would suggest, and I've gotten lots of use out of, if you don't have it, don't run out and buy it, but if you have one of those lightweight silk turtlenecks, that you can put a sweater over, put a scarf around and all that, those are really, really handy because they are so lightweight, and they don't take up room in their suitcase, and you can turn the collar up if you need to, if it's really chilly. As far as clothing for the ship, for the evenings, I think we've talked about this a little bit, but it's not dressy. It's not like you're going on an ocean liner. There's no formal nights. The only night that you might, women sometimes wear a glittery top or a nice cocktail dress, is the captain's gala party, which is usually the second to last night before the cruise is over. Men, you don't need a tie. A collared shirt and a sport coat are good. It can be chilly in the dining room. It can be hot in the dining room. You just never know. But I would always suggest a guy to bring a sport coat or, just a suit jacket that you can wear with regular pants. You don't need high heels. Wear comfortable, broken-in walking shoes. Take those with you. Everything's provided in the bathroom. They have all the toiletries, so you don't need to bring body lotion, shampoo. They will supply that, conditioner. There's a hair dryer in every stateroom. If you don't feel like lugging a computer with you, every stateroom is hooked up with the TV screen on your desk is also a monitor for a computer, which is very unique. And you have a keyboard. So if you just want to do simple things like check your email, do some web, surfing. Do they say that anymore? But check out sites online. You can do that from your room. So having your own computer is not mandatory. Let's see, what else were we going to cover?
Well, let me ask this. You covered a lot. That's great. Do you suggest that we bring, especially if we're doing the land as well, do you suggest we bring enough clothes and underwear for every night, or do you suggest perhaps that we could just use the laundry service, which is, of course, fee-based, but I just wanted to get your take on that to give some perspective to our
Yeah, and
friends.
you can always do a hand wash in the sink for your unmentionables. You know, you can do that and hang them up in the shower to dry. You know, do it in the morning, hang them up, and they'll be dry by evening time. Don't pack a separate outfit for every day. Pick a key color, which is what they always tell you to do: black, gray, beige, brown, navy, and then put things together that you can reuse. No one's going to call you a name if they see, and they won't even notice if you wear the same pair of pants on Monday as on Thursday, or the same shirt Tuesday and Friday. No one's going to care because we're all doing that. Let's see. But definitely, ladies, we don't need high heels on this. You just don't. You don't. I mean, if you want to wear them because you feel better in them, great. But it's not like, again, an ocean cruise where you're going to be, going down the promenade all decked out and dressed to the nines. So you don't have to worry about that.
So I'm going to cross it off because I got these magnificent 3-inch heels.
Manolo Mock.
Well, I'm not going to bring them now.
Yeah.
I just will bring the heels. You won't be disappointed.
You don't need sunscreen unless unless for your face, because most likely it's going to be cool. So going back to clothing again, you might think about if you wear shorts, maybe bring one pair in the slight chance that there's a heat wave and you want to sit on deck and just relax. So I'll probably bring one pair of shorts with me and my walking shoes, socks. Bring something that's water, if not water resistant, water repellent. The ship has umbrellas, so you don't have to haul a collapsible or a mega umbrella with you. You can always take an umbrella. They use umbrellas in Europe, unlike America, where it's like you're the nerd if you go out with an umbrella, right? I mean, you just don't do it here. If you have a rain poncho, those little foldy things that are about this thick, throw that in your suitcase because it can come in handy. I would suggest a scarf, gloves, and a smushy hat, something you can put on your head. Because, again, if it's cool, when we go past the castles, and we might have talked about this, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago already, most likely you're going to want to be up on deck with everybody and just looking. That way you can see both sides of the ship and see all the castles there and there. And it can be chilly. It can be very chilly. Or it can be nice and warm. So be prepared. I was a Girl Scout leader. Just be prepared, and you don't have to worry about anything. The question comes up a lot about electricity and current and voltage and all that. There's two things. There's an adapter and there's a converter. And they are of endless question to people. And I second guess myself sometimes. I don't know what the two of you do, but like my hair dryer has a little switch on it. If you look on the bottom of your electric appliances that you might bring with, there's a little voltage changer from 110 to 220, and they're hiding in the handles and things. Amawaterways ships are equipped with U.S. plugs, so you don't have to worry. There's at least 2 or 3 by the desk, and there's also the European ones. So, you can go online to Amazon and just buy, for $7.95, a two-prong adapter so that you can take your appliance. Say you have a flat iron and you want to use it, and someone else is using all the other little plugs. You take your plug into the adapter, put the adapter into the European voltage receptacle, and you're good to go.
Okay, so
converters
I like
do
that.
that. Yeah.
that's a small thing, and it's inexpensive, and it's a big fix. So, for instance, if we're recharging our phones, which we'll talk about in a second, if we're recharging something, then just an $8 adapter will do the trick.
Absolutely. They usually sell them three in a pack too, or two in a pack. So they're pretty inexpensive, and you'll always use them.
And I just want to highlight everybody that I, rather than, and of course you can do this if you want, but we're not going to bring like a heavy winter coat. We're not. We're just going to bring the layer thing. We're going to bring
that's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true. I have a puff jacket, one of those puffer down jackets that folds up to be this big.
Yeah,
but it's a down jacket, and it's a winter top layer. So I am bringing a winter top layer that is warm.
Yeah, I'm thinking more of those really thick, heavy duty winter.
Like a wool coat.
If you're from the Northeast,
you don't need to bring a winter parka, but if you have like a foldable, small, packable puffer jacket, that will work great.
And just to remind everybody, bringing a little pair of gloves is a great idea. So if it's chilly in the morning when you're done, put them in your pocket and in a scarf. Again, especially if we're heading out in the morning and it's going to be chillier in the morning, let's say, or if we're up on deck watching castles or whatnot, and a hat. I'm definitely bringing a hat.
Yeah, bring a cap. Yeah.
It just came to mind, binoculars. Now, by the way, everybody, we're gonna have as many of these Q&A sessions as we need. I know we're definitely have at least one more, maybe a couple of weeks before we depart.
Make sure that you have all your questions answered.
That's right, just to make sure we're all set, get really pumped and excited. And the adapter, like a really lightweight rain poncho is great, so you can put that over. We have one of those. They're just really light. You can put it over anything. Great idea. Okay. By the way, I just want to make sure everybody has completed their online check-in. I sent everybody the link. Also, if you had purchased the insurance, almost everybody did. I also sent you a copy of your insurance confirmation. Make sure you print that and bring that. I also sent that a form for other special needs. I also said it was totally optional, folks, if you wanted to fill it out or not. Some of you did. Thank you. It's going to be put in an envelope and kept sealed, and God willing, we'll never have to open it. But it's just so that if we need to know something in a pinch, we'll know the information.
We have the information.
Right. And also, if you had nobody had any special dietary needs or this kind of stuff. But just one thing. If you're uncomfortable filling out that form, here's what I'd like to suggest. Print it out. If you want, I'll send the link again. Print it. Manually fill it out with a pen. Fold it up. Put it in an envelope. And bring it with you on the trip. And just tell me, or Kimberly, or Sherry, that it's in an envelope. God forbid. At least we know you have the information. If we need to look at something, we will have more medical information so that whoever's tending to emergently will at least know maybe there's an allergic situation, that kind of stuff. So I'm just putting it out there. As your group leaders, we just want to take care of you. Just understand that. We're not looking to sell you any kind of medications. I'm not in the pharmaceutical business.
However, I'm a nurse practitioner, and I only charge $155 an hour. That's all.
And that's euro. All right, speaking of euro, wait, let me just answer questions. We're going to talk about money next, Sherry, so get ready. Fred asked, is there Wi-Fi? And the great news is yes. The ship has free Wi-Fi. Now listen to me carefully. You get what you pay for. It's free, and it works most of the time. And it's no fault of AMA or anything else other than we're going to be on a river in a valley, and right, Sherry, we're going to be going through areas that may not have Wi-Fi or satellite, because they get their Wi-Fi usually from satellite. It could be any number of reasons. So please understand when I tell you that the Wi-Fi is free. And when I was on the Danube together, when I did the Mosel River, most of the time it worked fine, but there were some times where it didn't. It just didn't. That's why they make it free, so nobody can complain and ask for their money back. But the answer is yes. So I think it's going to be great fun to be able to email or Facebook or whatever. That would be just super cool to do. And I'm sure that many of the cafes and areas in the countries we're visiting, there could be free Wi-Fi or pay for Wi-Fi available in the cafes, I would imagine.
Yeah. Go to Starbucks, buy a coffee, and you get good Wi-Fi.
That's it. Let me just get through these questions that are online here, then Sherry, we'll talk about money. Elise said about charging your phone. Let me just make a comment about the phone, and Sherry, jump in if you want to add. And I put this in the most recent email, everybody, which is that if you absolutely need to have cell phone coverage to make and receive phone calls, if you can't live without it, then call your telephone company, your phone provider, and ask them how much international service is and work it out. Work it out beforehand. If you don't need that, you got to make sure that before you take off from the United States of America, you put your phone on cell phone data off, airplane mode, Wi-Fi only, because if you don't
get charged,
your phone bill will be more than the cost of the cruise.
Yep.
That's true.
Yep. Okay. Why don't you? We got more questions coming in, which is awesome.
Charging your phone, though. You'll be able to charge your phone in the cabin.
In the cabin, using that adapter, though. You're going to have to get, right? Should we all bring adapters for sure?
Didn't you say there were at least 2 or 3 plugs that were American?
American plugs. There's at least 2 or 3. Yeah. Yeah. You can even get Belkin makes a charger that you can charge multiple devices on with just one plug-in. Right. So that might be something to think about if you're bringing an iPad, an iPhone. For 2 people, that's 4 devices right there.
Right.
But it's pretty easy to charge. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Sherry, take it away, because I don't remember what we did for the Danube with the money exchange and stuff. So what do you suggest we do with money?
Want to talk about money? You want to talk about money?
Let's talk about money.
Yeah.
Let's talk about money. And I always tell everybody, go to your bank, order euros before you leave. You have them with you. You don't need tons and tons and tons, obviously, but
we lost you. We lost your audio.
It says I'm connected. It says.
Okay, now we got you.
Repeat that again. It was like the Gremlins. As soon as you were giving us sage advice, it just shut off. So try again.
Sure.
We heard you say go to your bank, and then didn't hear it.
Go to your bank and order euro. Maybe 200 or 300 in euro to split up between you. You'll want to have tip money when you land for whatever. If you want someone to help you with your luggage, but it always helps to have some euros with you. You don't have to stand in line at an ATM. And by the way, the ATMs in Europe, you don't slide your card or swipe your card. You put the card into the machine and it eats it. I mean, it literally goes into the machine throughout Germany especially. And you're always thinking, uh-oh, what if something happens and it doesn't give me my card back? I mean, this is a fear that I travel with. So if you have enough money with you, you don't have to worry, and they take credit cards everywhere. Well, it's the same as on a ocean cruise ship. You'll register your credit card at the front desk, usually in the first day or the second day. They're not like running after you to sign up your credit card, and everything is put. It's a non-cash society on the ship, just like it is on a cruise ship. If you buy something in the gift shop, it goes on your cruise card, and it comes back at the end of the cruise on your total bill. So it's very simple. All the stores take credit cards. If you're in a store, then they all use the chip in Europe. So if your credit card doesn't have a chip, I suggest when you go to buy some euro, ask them for an updated credit card with the chip in it. It's supposed to be more secure, and it's just how they work in Europe. They're a little bit ahead of us in some respects. Every country we're going to, for Switzerland, they're on the Swiss franc, which is at about a par now, catching up to the euro with U.S. dollars. You may want to get $50 in Swiss francs. I will be doing that just because, again, if you want to buy a gelato or something like that, you don't want to run a credit card. You just want to take out a few euro, €3. Well, in Switzerland, it's probably €6, but in Switzerland, it's probably 6 Swiss francs as opposed, because they're very expensive in Switzerland. But so get euros, $200-300 to have, and Swiss francs 50 or so. You don't really need a whole lot in that respect. We'll be going to restaurants in Switzerland for the meals that are not included, and the restaurants will take your credit card happily. Let's see, what else do we need to know about cash? Well, you all know not to travel like an American, right? Don't wear your baseball cap, your Cubs, go Cubs, baseball cap, leave that at home. If you're going to, for walking around, you should have something with a zipper on the inside of your jacket. Pickpockets are all over Europe. I mean, they're like locusts, and you have to be aware of your surroundings. You know, guys, don't put your wallet in the back pocket and say, oh, well, there's a button, no one will get it. Well, P.S., they're like that. You know, they have ways. So don't carry anything in pockets that can be accessed easily from someone that just bumps into you or someone throws you off your guard. Keep stuff inside a zipper. Ladies, if you have something to wear inside, and money belts are great. Money belts are not as goofy as they sound because they're perfect. You know, if you go inside your coat and your coat's zipped up, your sweater is zipped, you know, no one can get it. So, you know, don't be silly and don't lose things. Don't get pickpocketed to the best of your ability. You know, things happen, but if you're safe and prepared, chances are it won't happen. Let's see, what else can I cover about money and getting around?
You had mentioned tip, and that's all great stuff, and I'm going to see if anybody has any. I promise you, if you're typing something, everybody, we'll get to everybody. My guess is the answer to this is not necessary. Traveler's checks.
No, they're passé. They were the thing years and years ago. I grew up with traveler's checks. Yeah. They're not even accepted at most places anymore. Yeah. They're so easy to forge, and so don't just forget traveler's checks. Just get some euros.
And some euros.
Yeah, some euros,
and also
some francs, Swiss francs.
Swiss francs, and make sure it's a credit card and not a debit card. Take one of each if you have. Some places won't accept a debit card, and maybe you don't want to put a PIN in.
Right. In
some places. So I always take a debit card and a credit card. And be sure and let your bank know where you're traveling. Just because you're going to buy euro, tell them you're going to be in Switzerland, Germany.
Yep.
And then they'll know if suddenly they get these charges from Europe and they're not aware that you're going, you're going to be denied. And it's pretty embarrassing, even though you know the funds are there. It's like then you have to make a phone call and everything else. So let your bank know that the 4 countries that you're going to.
Yeah, and that's very important.
We were going to say that
to let them know.
Yeah.
I just want to reference something you had mentioned, tips and so forth. If you've bought Ama's Air and so forth, we're all going to be met at the airport. There's going to be somebody there with a big smiley face with a sign, and they're going to be they know we're coming in. And they will take care of the luggage. We have to take them off the thing there, but they're going to transfer the luggage. But of course, it's of a personal nature, tips if you want to do that. But that those services are included. And remember, I built in the gratuities on the ship. So the gratuities on the ship are prepaid. That's done. However, and you can leave more if you get exceptional service from somebody, or if you get a massage. Yes, there's usually, we almost always we get a massage on board. Schedule that if you want to get some, gentlemen, Pete, if you want to get waxed or something like that, or Mark. But those services, we'll call it, you're going to have your credit card on file on the ship, but you may want to have extra money or put the tip on a card. Binoculars. Did I mention binoculars? I mentioned that already. Okay, so let's get to here. Thank you, Sherry. That was awesome. That was magnificent because I took copious notes as well. Patricia and Patrick want to know if there's dancing on board.
There is dancing on board. In the evenings, the lounge they have a piano entertainer who is, he plays the piano and has the synthesizers in the background. And about midnight, there's usually a couple of hangers on at midnight, but the ship pretty much rolls up its carpet at, 10:30, 11 o'clock. Everyone's gone to sleep because it's an early morning. You have an early call.
Yep. We do have early calls, and while we're on board, they'll tell us we're going to have a daily meeting with the is it the purser the director, the cruise manager, and they'll give us a bit of a lecture on where we're heading tomorrow, a bit of history, the optional shore excursions that are included. And remember, if you love walking, you can pick the active walkers choice, or if you are not, then you can also pick the
easy walker.
An easy walker.
Easy. There's three levels. Isn't there 3 levels?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, it's really beautiful how they set up. And also, Patricia and Patrick asked about bridge players. So type in if do we have any bridge players who are going to be among us. Now, I will tell you that we definitely have mahjong players among us. And here's another surprise. My mom loves mahjong, and I don't think she's going to be able to live without it for 12 days, albeit there's going to be so much to do. So I have arranged for there to be
one mahjong set.
A set on board the ship. So does anybody else play mahjong? Then, Mom, you're in like Flynn.
Well, I know I do. My mom does. My dad does. Sheila does.
And bridge. Let's see who plays. Oh, at least one's played poker. Sheila's in with
everything.
With everything.
Sheila's all in for everything.
Okay. So I'll see if Patrick and Patricia. I'll let you know if anybody responds about the bridge. Okay. So we got the dancing. Sheila says, "Tell me more about biking." So I'll start, then we'll turn over to Sherry. There are bikes at any time. You can take a bike, and they'll be off. They offload them, and you can go for a ride. Yeah. It's really that wonderful, magnificent. But they also have guided tours. And Sherry, if you just want to comment about that, you can sign up. They're included.
Yeah, they're all included. Just let them know ahead of time. If you want to, if your own whim is to do a self-guided bike tour in one of the ports, then just let the front desk know the night before if possible to make sure you do get a bike, because they are pretty popular. And then one of the crew members will offload it, put a helmet on the bike, and just leave the ship when you get there. Sign a waiver, and you can just pedal around all you want. Even if you just want to do half hour, everyone else is coming back to the ship after a short tour, but you just want to go a little, just go around town a little bit on your own. You can do that.
Okay.
There's some towns that are better than others. Breisach would be a good one to do it in. Strasbourg, no, because we don't dock on the France side. We dock on the Germany side, and it's in an industrial area. But bike ride. That's our first stop.
I think put on Facebook, and so we can go back and see if it's there. I can repost it. I did tell everybody on the Facebook page I think there's 3 guided bike tours of different lengths. Like one I think was a few miles, but there was one like 10 or 11. There's a short one and some long ones. But I think it's on the Facebook page. I'll go back. If it's not there, I'll make sure I repost it.
We'll try to get that in. We'll try to get that information before we go, so we'll get an idea of who wants to do what bike tour, so we can kind of I would like to do the bike tour with Auntie Sheila, so we can do the same one, and then we'll make sure that we all, sign up early enough.
Yeah.
So,
for instance, if you guys did the online check-in, at the very end, you also had the option to look at some of these limited availability tours, and there was I think 3 or 4 of them. I know that we signed up for the one. Was it Cologne where we do? Was it Cologne? Where we do a bit of
it's like a beer.
Pub tour. We end up at a beer. We do a tour of the city tour, but then we do some beer tasting, which is strictly for scientific purposes. so of course. But as we get closer, we can coordinate. But we don't have to pick those things. Those limited availability ones. If you want it, you should pick in advance. Otherwise, we do it all on board. Okay, Sheila says, when do we print out boarding passes? And that's actually a great question. I'll get an answer to that. I don't have them yet, everybody. As soon as I get them from AMA, I will give them to you. I don't know, do you recall, Sherry, about how far in advance?
They usually mail a package of information about a month before.
Okay.
Your little packet. You should get that. I don't know if they'll mail them all to you, Stuart, and then you have to divvy them out, but or if they'll go to the address on record for each guest. That I don't know.
Okay, we'll let you know.
That's a great question. Thank you, Sheila. I don't know. I'll find out. I promise I'll find out. Pete wants to know if there's a risk on board because he wants to play overnight risk. He didn't write that.
Oh my God, I did that in college. Oh man, and that Irkutsk, that's the one on the side.
No, for me it was always Kamchatka. I always wanted Kamchatka. In any case, backpacks. He's asking, what do you think about backpacks? Sherry, do you think backpacks are a good idea for the daytime excursions?
As long as they're not too heavy, they're a great idea. And actually, you can leave them on the bus. The bus is up. So if it's too heavy, you don't want to schlep it around with you. Just leave it on the bus. And the driver locks it's locked. So it's safe. You can. I wouldn't leave your wallet, but if you have a sweater or a water bottle or something, you can easily leave it on the bus. And a backpack is a great way to walk around, and you look more European.
Yeah, on our last cruise, I had a small backpack. I didn't bring a big one, a small one. But I think I'm going to buy almost like a courier, like a saddle bag or something. I'm going to get something.
Crossbody bag.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get a body bag this time, something a little different. Why? I don't know. But there you go. Backpack is a great idea. And while we ask the next question, I'm going to look up what the current conversion is from euro to the dollar. I don't remember offhand, but Sheila's asking, how much do you tip for luggage in euros? Like, if we would normally throw somebody a couple of bucks a bag or whatever, Sherry, I guess we have to look at what the conversion is, but would the tip
What's
scale
your recommendation?
Be the same?
Yeah. Well, actually, the conversion rate, I just checked a couple days ago, it was about 94 cents. $1 U.S. would get you 92 or 94 cents of euro. So we're almost even. And then Swiss francs, we're even closer. So, for example, in a restaurant, if you're in a cafe, you generally round up to the nearest dollar. They don't do the 10% or the 20% for good service. So if your total bill is, say, €6.50, you would just put down another euro, so it ends up being $7.50. So just round up. You know, if it's really good, leave €2. But 1 or 2 euro tip is usually sufficient all through Europe. Not Britain, Europe. But.
Okay.
Are there two Sheilas? Yes. There's a Sheila Palter and a Sheila Sontar.
We have two Sheilas.
Two Sheilas.
We have two Sheilas.
Just
That's
FYI.
That's true. Sorry about that, ladies. If you're like, wait, I didn't type that question in. No.
And if I can just jump in while I think about it real quick, about euros again. Another reason to have change, 1 and 2 euro coin, is for your driver on your motor coach and a tour guide. So generally everybody tips the driver €1. If it's really been, we don't have any like mountainous roads or anything. So €1 per person, per driver, and it's a different driver usually every day. And then your tour guide, generally €2 per person. So, I figure it's €3 a day for tips.
Okay.
Anything more or less depending
per person. €3 per person.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's great because I totally forgot about that.
I would never have even thought about that.
That's really nice. It's really nice sort of protocol. It's very nice. Yes, the driver, because again, all these excursions, they're all included, and usually, I should say usually, every person we've ever encountered who's delivering the tour, whether it's the driver, whether it's our personal tour guide for our group, they're wonderful. They're local people. They love their country.
Yeah, you're gonna love them.
Showcasing it. So yes, that standard protocol to tip. As let me just echo that again. per person, $1, euro, €1 per person for the driver, and
€2 per person for the tour guide.
For the tour guide.
And if they're exceptional, if they're absolutely exceptional, if they help you out with something that went awry, then, give them a little bit more, of course. But generally speaking, 1 for the driver and 2 for the tour guide per person.
Great.
Yep. Perfect. All right, buddy. So it looks like Fred is going to be playing canasta with Mom. Cool. There you go. And your parents play canasta too, right?
I have no idea. Do you play canasta, Mom and Dad? I don't know.
I don't know. Your father's been awfully quiet.
Why are you so quiet? You're worrying us.
Sheila Palter says she's going to be following you.
Yay.
Any canasta?
Oh, so Sheila Suntark plays canasta as well.
Yeah. So do we have more canasta players? Cool. That's right. So we have, is it Auntie or Auntie?
Auntie Sheila.
Auntie Sheila. Are there locks for the bikes?
Oh, good question. So if you go into town and you ride the bike in, are there locks for the bikes? Do you know that, Sherry?
I don't think so.
I don't know about that, honestly. I've never...
That's
no, I have gone shopping. I've gone shopping with a bicycle once, and I don't think there are locks, but I bet if you ask at the front desk, they have them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't see it, but we never know. It's definitely a good question to ask when we get there. And I know, again, some of us have never been to these places before, but the water. Do we or do we not need to drink bottled water when we go visit some of these cities?
You don't need to. You may want to just because it's easier, and that way you don't have to worry. If you're a worrier like me, I drink bottled water everywhere.
And they provide the bottled water.
Well, you have to buy it.
They supply the bottled water on the ship.
On the ship,
so you can bring... one. Right. Yeah, and they'll as you exit the ship for a short excursion, they'll hand you a bottle of water. It's all complimentary, but when you go to restaurants, generally they don't serve tap water anyway. They ask you if you want still or sparkling, gas or no gas.
Right.
Gas.
So
you have enough.
Okay, Sherry, here's a question that I never knew until it was too late. When we did the Danube River, the public toilet system in some parts of Europe are very different from America. While here, restaurants or stores will say restrooms for patrons only, so it's tough enough to go pee here. There, they will have public restrooms, but I remember they were
Carry Euro coins with you for
a lot of times there was. So my question to you is are we going to experience the same in the cities we visit? Should we have loose coins to pay for potty?
Always take coins. Never hurts to have them. You never know. Some places in France they have the bathroom is on the street and it's like a kiosk, and you put in your 10 cents or however much it is, and the door. Always have coins with you, and you can get smaller coins in euros, of course. There's pennies, dimes, etc., 20-cent pieces. So have some change. Always have change with you. And dollar bills. There are no dollar bills. It's a €1 or a €2, and then you have your paper money starts after that.
Yeah, and I would imagine don't travel with wads of coinage. We can always change over the euros, the bills, the paper for coins there.
That they can do at the front desk. They can change bills for you in euro. They're not an American bank, so don't give them a $20 U.S. dollar and get change. They're not a currency exchange. They will break bills for you and give you smaller change. They may not have the little bitty ones that a coin-operated bathroom stall would require. So just sort of accumulate them on as you go along.
Yeah,
and chances are you won't need it anyway.
Well, we need, and I will hope my friends who will be traveling with me will have extra coins, because my wife, who I love and adore, she's a frequent peer. So I have to bring like a wheelbarrow full of coins when we go to Europe. Okay. Sheila Suntorp says, don't forget your Mahjong cards. Cool. All right. Elise wants to know, if we should bring our own toilet paper. At least if you have a very sensitive
tushy,
then you could bring the Charmin. But as far as I remember, the Alma toilet paper was
was fine.
It was fine.
But at least that's so am I, because
That's
she's
the
a
old
frequent
days.
peer too, and I know Joni is
I
too.
know. Elise is a peer.
Or frequent peers.
Okay, so I'm going to go check the notes here. I know that, we talked about the captain's farewell party. I'm not bringing a tie, everybody. This is my choice is that I'm bringing I'm probably bringing 2 lightweight sport jackets, probably not heavy. And I just like wearing a sport jacket in a restaurant. I'm not bringing a tie. And I'm definitely I'm looking forward to I might bring a bow tie for the captain's gala party. That is a gala or gala? I like bow ties, and I could tie them myself. It takes about 3 hours, but I can do it. On the day of arrival to the ship, if you're not on the land tour, keep in mind if you're not coming in with us, because if you're doing land, then we're going to do a tour of Basel. And they're going to time it out so when we get to the ship, we'll be able to board and access the staterooms. But typically, staterooms are not open. We can board the ship early, but you can't access the stateroom until about 3 o'clock because they're cleaning it up, making it all pretty for us. So I just want to let everybody know that. And we got 6 minutes left, so I want to see if anybody has any other questions. I do have some follow-up here, but this was, I felt, a really great conversation session here. Sherry, anything else you want to add while we give our friends a last chance to type in?
Gee whiz. Just to have fun. I mean, this is going to be a great trip. Bring you have an SD card that you bring from home, an HDS, the little memory cards for your camera. Don't buy them in Europe. You never know what you're getting. So go get a Lexar or a SanDisk or whatever. Get that here. Don't forget to bring your camera charger, your iPhone charger. Line them up. I start lining stuff up in a basket as I think of it. If I think I'm going to need it, I just take it and put it in a basket because you always have that last minute crunch time. It doesn't matter how organized you are. I think you don't want to forget anything or, even if you take notes. I don't look at my notes. I make notes and I don't look. Yeah. But, so start gathering things from around the house that you think you might want to bring. Most important, don't forget chargers. That's like such a horrible thing to forget. Although there's an Apple store on almost every corner.
And don't forget your
Except
passport.
in Italy.
Yeah.
Don't forget your passport.
Don't forget. Oh, and speaking of passports, make a color copy of your passport on the inside. And don't carry it with you. Pack it in a suitcase. Give it to, swap with who you're traveling with. But have a color copy, not black and white anymore. They want you to have a color copy for backup just in case. And make sure you sign your passport. I used to the port over here in Port Canaveral, and 9 times out of 10, no one looks inside their passport and realizes it asks for a signature. Sign your passport. Make sure it's there.
Oh, that's a great tip. Yeah, and I didn't realize about the color copies of the passport. So friends, either bring it to the library and scan it. No, I got to write that down.
We'll put it on the list.
And keep it separate. Absolutely, that's a great suggestion. All right, let's
don't pack medications. Carry your medications with you. Don't put it through checked baggage.
Right.
Keep an eye on it.
And make sure that you take your medication in the original pack and the original container that has the doctor's number, everything on it.
Yes. Yeah. So if somebody else needs to access it, we're not going to guess what is this little yellow pill.
Yeah.
What is this blue pill? Auntie Sheila wants us to recap all of the info that was covered and email it to us.
We will.
I think that's a great idea.
Good idea.
Stuart will get right on it.
Because I couldn't write fast enough too. So we've got just 2 minutes left. I just want to open it up, see if anybody has any more comments or questions, and then class dismissed. Anybody else? Auntie Sheila says thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
And that's it. Hey, Mom, you didn't type anything? Mark, you didn't type? Everybody? No, you guys. Patrick, Patricia, you guys are good. Pete and Carol, you guys are good. Sheila and everyone in Queens, you guys are good. Fred and Zelda and Eileen. Everybody's good? I think we're all good. Yeah.
All good.
All right.
I'm
Sherry,
good.
Thank you. I'm glad that
You're
yes,
welcome.
all worked out.
Happy to help.
A little
Happy to help.
technical
It's always
difficulty.
fun. What's that?
All right,
A little
everybody.
put me over the edge for a minute, but I'm okay.
It all worked out.
Okay.
Well, thank you, everybody.
The final question is from, of course, my father-in-law, Mark.
When does the webinar start?
Yeah, it starts right now. Good night, everybody. Thanks for coming. Good night. Bye.
See you in
Bye.
Europe.
Bye.
Good night.